Yeah, a lot of people will work on their own stuff. Alrighty then. We are streaming some Rust today. Okay, I gotta turn down my volume just a little bit. Alright, so I'm returning to working on Duke, which is the port of Bloodhound. I saw a Reddit post about writing an Elasticsearch code, not really a client, code for talking to Elasticsearch, and it was using the JSON macro. So let me try. Yeah. So where is that post? Let's try searching for Elastic search. Yes. All right. So this post, they used JSON for everything. Yeah, the JSON macro. The JSON macro is pretty convenient, but you don't really have any type safety in terms of knowing what structure your JSON document should look like, that kind of thing. So to that end, I found out in the thread that this person, Ashley Mannix, had actually already written an Elasticsearch client for Rust. Now, that doesn't actually obviate the purpose of porting Bloodhound because it's a client that handles just the, kind of the endpoints part of talking to Elasticsearch. It's still, you're just using the JSON macro, right? So this is actually really good because what it means is that I can use this to handle document mapping for data types, which is pretty cool. I can also use it to handle the actual HTTP, requests, things like that, which is pretty cool. So that actually is great because really my specialty and my interest in Bloodhound is just figuring out how to faithfully and in a type-safe manner. Type-safe meaning don't let the types should be set up so that you can't represent anything Elasticsearch doesn't understand. It should be impossible, in the types to construct anything that doesn't work, basically. There's a little couple % last mile things that's not true of in Bloodhound, just because it's one of those things where, if you kind of go Ahab and chase the white whale, you get swallowed. It's just not really worth it. But in general, you can do a lot better than a JSON macro. So our goal will simply be to replace that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to return a Duke here. And this work might be a little bit boring for some of you. I don't know for sure. Because what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to basically look to replace the parts that we're talking to the server with the Elastic client, and then I'll see about hooking it up to the search and query representation I built. Okay. So just a quick, alright, nothing's changed, so it's already done. Alright. Do they have I think there's a cargo watch or something, so it can just automatically rebuild. Cargo watch, no, not shipping to India. There we go. Cargo install cargo watch. And we want cargo watch check, I think, because we don't actually need to build an artifact, excuse me, for basic type checking. So cargo check will suffice. Okay. Shush dog. So this is the package I'm going to use. I'll just go ahead and grab this. And since that other thing's installing, I'll just go ahead and get that built. And then looking at the... Okay, so we need Elastic Derive. We already have shared JSON, but we need Elastic Derive. Alright. Derive. Yeah, cool. Looks like they keep the versions locked, so that's pretty easy. Okay, cool. So now I can do is cargo watch x check, I think. Wow. I wonder why the check had to rebuild all that. At least it's fast. Alright, so what I'm going to do is hopefully obviate the need for pretty much all that. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. And then I'll just move all the stuff I care about up. Basically, I don't need that. All right. So the bit we want to, I think it was test talk to server. So that's what we want to rewrite in terms of the Elastic library. Okay, macro use Elastic Derive and extern create Elastic, use Elastic Prelude. Yeah, this cargo watch thing's convenient. Hopefully it's reliable. I haven't used it much. I've used it before, but not a lot. Alright. Okay. So... see examples folder for complete samples. So I want to call this out. So I'm an advocate of putting examples in projects. In fact, the other person who's in Hangouts right now, Fit and Halpany. By the way, sorry, what's the enunciation? Am I doing the right enunciation for your name? Yeah. All right. Thank you. So he actually added examples for the Escalito library, the SQL library maintained. Kind of similar to Bloodhound, but actually his were more thorough. It was really nice. But I have to say, I think Ashley has us beat. There's a bunch of examples in here. It's pretty cool. So that'll make using this easier, I think. So there's a basic example. We can start there. Env longer. Okay. The sample expects you to have a node running on localhost 9200. Yeah, I think I can swing that. Work, Elasticsearch 5.5.0. There we go. What's env longer? Env logger is a long implementation for log, which is configured via environment variable. I'm not a huge fan of libraries that just reach through into the environment without, me just doing it for them, but this is probably more convenient, so whatever. Alright, log, env logger. Okay. We can always clean up the dependencies later. or isolate them to test dependencies, which is what a lot of this code will eventually become anyway. And then it depends on log 0.3 or newer. I can swing that. Wow, okay. The cargo watch thing also gets the dependencies, which is pretty cool. Stack build watch doesn't do that, I don't think. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it does. Alright, so extern create there we go. Alright, mvlogger, and let's just copy and paste this as a starting point. Okay. So test pubf and test talk to sir, and go ahead and move that in. Request. I see. Okay, so that's the library they're using. Request. Is it this one? Maybe? There's more than one thing called this. Let's base it on whatever cargo says, or crates says. Request. There we go. Yep, Sean. Okay. What's this library like? It's built on top of Hyper, the batteries include mindset. Okay, so it's just like a less raw API than what I was using, because I was using Hyper before anyway. Async simple. Yeah, alright, cool. I am with it. Alright. Client builder. And then query. Right, okay. So what I need to do is synthesize something that queries the data with something that inserts that data I was looking for. I'm just going to do this for now and just run it, but I'm going to need to add stuff to this. So cargo test. I wonder if cargo check, oh, whoops. Cannot find macro JSON in the scope. Cannot find type value in the scope. Possible candidates. Okay, so it's the way I'm importing something, I imagine. Go back to this example. So it has us use shared JSON value. Okay. There we go. Cannot find macro JSON in the scope. Well, I'm not macro using shared JSON, so yeah, sure. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Mm-hmm. Oh, didn't I make a... Yeah, okay. Excuse me. I want the no capture version. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So I need to create an index, insert the document search, and then delete the index. Okay. So let's just find out how you're supposed to do this. This is indexing. Create index. Huh. That's weird. Why is this a function? It's just a constant function. That's strange. Alright. So we're going to do this. And I don't think cargo check's actually checking this because that's a compile error. There's no sample index. What is cargo check actually doing? Alright, I'll just change the build. What? Hold on. Where's sample index coming from? Why is it think? Oh, because it's not test. Right? Is that it? Is that why it's because it just removes things that are test? Yeah, that's probably why. Okay. Cargo check test. Yeah, there we go. All right. We'll just run both. So, sample index not found in the scope. Yeah, no kidding. Blech. Stop. All right. Let Twitter index do Twitter index. Twitter index. Cool. All right, so now they do a put mapping. So this little note here, optional, but make sure timestamp is mapped at a date. Trust me, you want to do that. Elasticsearch will really fuck your day up if you let it determine the mappings implicitly. It's really bad. All right, so we're doing, my type is tweet. Tweet. And we need to derive let's go ahead and derive debug and elastic type. No method name send for yeah, okay. Hold your horses. Yeah, I know it's not found in the scope. Alright. So this will actually end up value used here after move. Okay. Expected struct found reference. Why can't it just... I mean, that does go some way to explain why it was using that constant function. It's a little annoying, though. Okay. Wow, that is annoying. I see. So it has to be static. Wow. Alright. Sorry. All right. Fine. 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 There. All right. Oh, Christ, that is annoying. All right. Oh, failed. Index already exists. Yeah, I know. All right, we're gonna change this to delete index, so that we're just always resetting it. No method named delete index found. Okay. Well, I guess is it drop? Let's see what's going on here. Source, client request, create, wait, does it just not have delete index? What? No, don't do this to me. No. All right. Well, okay then. I'm just gonna have to add it. Nuts. Indices, create request for index. Where'd that come from? Wait, where? Use client requests. Is it a mod? No. What in tarnation? Pub use elastic request. What? What is that? Do I need to use this one? Which one am I supposed to use? I think I'm just gonna have to add it to the other library. Okie dokie. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. What version of cargo I'm using right now? Manifest path is a virtual manifest, but this command requires running against an actual package in this workspace. Aight. Do I do cargo? Nope. Okay. Let's just Google it. See what's going on here. Page not found. Okay. I'll just let that run off. Membership is inferred based on path dependencies. Okay. Oh, away it goes. What? Oh. Really? How did I build it before? Oh, because it's an example. Okay. Grab the beta channel, see if that has it. If it doesn't, I'll probably have to do nightly. You know, separate compilation might not be viable for a language like Haskell, but I have to say that I really enjoy what it does with my machine in terms of compile times. People think the Rust compiler is slow, but this is so much better than what I'm used to. Oh, yeah, it is nightly. Okay. Here and I thought I would be able to stay to a stable compiler for once. It was a lie. At least compile times aren't that bad. Alright, one thing's using Hyper-V 10, one thing's using Hyper-V 11. Ooh, that's brave. Okay, file URL, that's probably the workspace thing. Okay, let's have a look here. I see. So each thing has its own stuff. Don't really need a body for an index deletion, I don't think. The question is, should I mimic all this structure if I don't actually need a body? Take a quick look at Bloodhound client. Oh, right. I enabled intro. So that's going to take a moment. Alexi has joined us. There he is. Hey, Alexi. How you doing? I'm good. I'm waiting for intro to load up a Bloodhound module. I am in fact working on the Rust stuff, but I wanted to look at something in Bloodhound and I'm getting punished for it. There we go. Okay, delete index. So do you remember how I was working on Duke? And I was using like a raw hyper client, you remember that? So I heard about somebody's Elasticsearch client in Rust. It doesn't overlap that much with Bloodhound. It just does the client URL stuff, you know? And I thought I would try to build Duke on top of that. And I realized that I wanted to delete an index, and they didn't seem to have it implemented, so I'm double checking my memory of how that works, and it looks like I was right. You don't need a body for an index deletion. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Fenton's here too. I think Fenton's working on some Haskell or something. So what I'm struggling with right now is I forked the Elasticsearch client. It's just called Elastic in Rust, and I'm looking at the create index module to figure out how I should put together the delete index functionality so I can PR it. The problem I'm having is that create index naturally expects a body, a request body, describing the index, mappings, whatever else, right? Delete index doesn't need any of that. It's just the path that contains the name of the index and then an HTTP delete, and that's it. So, wait a second. Why were they able to do my index there? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Let me fix that. I didn't share the right thing. There you go. Now you can actually read. Whoops. Oh, lordy. Alright. So yeah, what I'm struggling with is that a fair chunk of this code seems to be about request bodies and building requests with request bodies, and I'm just trying to make certain I understand this. Yeah. Not really certain where indices create request comes from either. I think it comes from a library that Elastic is built on top of or something. It's Elastic requests. So request, it's like request, is the underlying
HTTP client, which is built on top of Hyper. It looks like Elastic itself is built on top of Elastic Request. It looks like there's an Elastic types library. There are a lot of these things. Elastic types, statically defined document mappings for Rust. That's for defining new document types. That's not the same thing as what I'm doing. So I thought maybe that the indices create request thing was coming from here, but there's actually not that much in this Elastic request thing. I'm actually just gonna search for it. There it is. It's an Elastic requests gend. So it lives under source and in gend. So this gets code gen somehow? Oh yeah, so I started on, so what I'm doing right now is I wrote a Haskell Elasticsearch client called Bloodhound, and I thought I would port it to Rust, you know, because it's a domain I'm familiar with. It gives me a way to work on something that lets me focus on learning the language and the library ecosystem without having to also learn a new problem, right? I want to kind of do that after I've gotten more comfortable with Rust. So that's Duke. Duke is just me, you know, doing Bloodhound in Rust. I found out about an existing Elasticsearch client in Rust. All of it kind of lives under Elasticrs. They've got a bunch of different packages and modules and stuff and these different things, and I'm basically just trying to focus on the part that hold on, the part that I kind of know really well, that I'm interested in, whatever you want to call it, which is figuring out how to model the query API in terms of types, right? So I thought I would save myself writing raw HTTP code using Hyper if I use the Elastic client. However, it's looking like that's actually going to take me more time than doing it raw, because I need to, there's missing functionality in that client. Let me see if I can find it. So yeah, there's missing functionality in the client. They have a create index but not a delete index, that kind of thing. So one problem is that the code's kind of spread out all over the place. I have to do a fair bit of searching to find anything. Like it took me a bit to find, where is it? Yeah, like the indices, create requests, and all that. And it seems like they might be code genning this. Which is intriguing. I am curious about how they're code genning this. So let's create. Do they have an indices delete? Seems like they do. They have template alias. Do they have... Yeah, there we go. They have... Sorry, I just got a text. I'm gonna stop streaming in about 45 minutes. Okay. Okay, so I think this is what I want. Indices delete request. And it just takes an index parameter, which makes sense. Yeah. So whatever this library is, it's doing some code gen or something? Where are they even pulling something that they can code gen from? You know, I bitch a lot about Elastic changing their API and stuff, but it never would have occurred to me to code gen the Surface API for the URLs and stuff, because they don't actually change that much. Like, I don't think they ever have, when I think about it. They only changed the query API, which you can't really code gen, because there isn't a spec of that. There's only a spec of the top level API. They might be using that JSON spec or something that Elastic publishes. Couldn't parse REST API spec. Yeah, let dir equals spec. So they're pulling the spec from somewhere, but it lives in this directory. Yeah, this is the JSON spec that Elastic publishes. Yeah, it's not super helpful in my experience, but whatever. Okay. So... yeah. All right. Well, let's try doing it the dumb way and just add delete index.rs and play string indices create request indices delete request, and this is gonna break a bunch of shit, but let's just go ahead and break a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah. So Corlin mentioned kind of odd compared to Bloodhound. Bloodhound has everything from responses, etc. built in, right? Yeah, and that's actually what I plan to do with Duke. I plan to just make it a holistic library like Bloodhound. I thought I would try to be a good citizen, if you want to call it that, and try to reuse what already exists in the Rust ecosystem, but I don't know. This seems like a lot of work to create something that isn't, to my mind, like super easy for users or developers to understand. Because again, like part of my problem here is that if I want to understand something in Bloodhound, like you just go to types or client pretty much, right? So if I want to know how creating index works, I just go here, whoops, create index. Okay, it takes index settings and index name. All right, so, you know, what's index settings? I just told intro to go to definition. Who knows if this is going to work? There is a reason I don't like intro. I don't think it worked. Okay, that's cool. Index settings. That's fine. I can just use grep to get it. So yeah, you can see an example like right at the top of the module here. Index settings is a shard count and a replica count, right? It's pretty simple. And then you get a reply, and reply is defined here, I think. No, it is defined here. So yeah, a reply is just a type synonym for client response byte string, and you can parse out the response if you want. There's a more structured type for the queries and stuff like that. So the problem is that part of the point of writing a library like this is that the code should be like a structured guide to understanding Elasticsearch. Using a bunch of code gen and then spreading it out over like 8 packages, I don't know if that's the way I want to do this. Because if I build my library on top of their thing, it's now my thing plus 8 other packages where everything's spread out, and it's just impossible to know how anything works. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to back off that for now. I'll probably look into this more and try to understand how it works more, but I'm going to go back to the raw hyper client. And the way I see it, if anybody actually, you know, if Duke actually gets finished, no guarantees it will. But if I do finish Duke and I have the raw client stuff, there's nothing stopping anybody from using these libraries together. Like, they could just use my library for generating the JSON and then use the Elastic library for everything else. And I won't be offended if they do that. I don't really care. Certainly there are some nice parts about this library. The fact that it has the ability to derive mappings for your types, that's pretty cool. Particularly since Bloodhound never actually bothered to do that. Yeah, it has good bits, but that's just too much mess for me. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to get rid of... What are we going to get rid of? Client put mapping. So we need create index, delete index. All right. So create index, delete index, insert document. No method name, delete index. Yeah, no kidding. Delete index expects a URL and index. Where'd build URL go? There it is. I should probably wrap that up into a client that just remembers the host name and maybe has a handle on the connection pool. I won't for now, but I need to do that eventually. so I don't need to do that anymore. And then Twitter index. Let's just build URL. To string. Whoops, there we go. Create index. And we'll call this index name. Because I might actually want to use that. Because I think the mapping stuff is pretty cool. Alright, what is it complaining about? Index not found, Duke Twitter index. Is that for the delete? I don't think so. We call it unwrap. Is it on the put? So Duke is a Rust library I started on. It's still pretty young. Duke is just my attempt to port Bloodhound to Rust, from Haskell to Rust. That's all. I'm just trying to rewrite basically the same library but in Rust. And yeah, it's just an Elasticsearch client library. I was talking about this a little bit earlier. Basically, if I'm going to learn a new language, it's better if I work on problems I'm familiar with and know kind of the warp and woof of pretty well, so that I'm not trying to understand a new domain or problem at the same time as I'm trying to learn a new language and libraries. So I just try to deal with one problem at a time, basically. Okay. Index not found. All right. Why? Let's see how this mvlogger works, because I need to add some log into this, figure out what's going on. I guess it would help if I did the no capture. So let's just run that and see what happens. Wow. Alright. Actually, what I should do is just put this in the little callers, put in there we go. Cannot find macro debug in this scope. Yeah, fair enough. Where's mvlogger? Macro use extern create log, use log level. Alright. No level in this root. Okay. Warn unused on by default. Yeah, sure, I don't care. That's kind of weird. So because I used debug,
it didn't render the thing. So rust log equals debug is what we want here. Wow. All right. Okay, so because everybody uses this rust log thing, everything came out. Wow, that is seriously intense. All right, let's just make this info, maybe a little less crazy. Not especially. Jesus, it's logging every... Oh, it's Cargo's thing, logging. Jesus Christ. Alright, fine. Error. Just error. It's error, okay? Okay. Root cause, no such index. This was for index or alias. Was this the delete or the create? I want to say both. Type compressor detection can only be called not X content exception. So first the delete fails silently, which is fine. I don't actually care about that. But then the create fails. Not X content detection. What? This didn't fail before. This worked. Problem with the mapping. You pass in a string instead of a JSON document to the body and data key. That's a little weird. It's getting this error on index creation? Can't be. Just use the debug. Alrighty then. Invalid format string. Is it that? Debug is not implemented for T. Okay. How do I do a plural trait rust trait bound? I need to do like multiple trait bounds, so put commas between them. Where clause, yes. Where, yeah, comma. Oh no, it's all in the same thing, so I can just do debug plus serialize, I think. Not found in this scope. Are you serious? Okay, use standard font debug. T cannot be for. What? All right. What type isn't satisfying? Search request. Ooh. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing some empty string? That doesn't seem right. Hold on here. Hold on. None. Wow, why am I doing that? Is it none or nothing? I can't remember. Whatever. Alright. Alright, well, we can drop that trait bound. Cannot infer type for T. I mean, yeah. But it's none, so. Is that why I did that before? How do I. Oh, Christ. Cannot infer type for T option. When passing none. Yes, that is exactly my problem. There is no bug. Option of the type parameter. None is a variant of option. You can fix it by writing none blah 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 type. Why doesn't it mention option? It's kind of weird. Whatever. None of string. Yes, it is string. Should have fixed that the right way before. Oh, the fucking test passes now. Okay, so the encoding error was because I was passing an empty string as the body. And somehow it was getting turned into something stupid. Alright. Lordy. Okay. Well, it all works now. Yep. Deleting index, creating mapping. Cool. Alright. So we have a rerunnable test now. And what happens if... Yeah, alright, cool. What levels are there? Ooh, per module. Nifty. Wow, that explains how I turn on enabling only for my thing. That's good to know. That's a good feature. Not sure how it works, but it's super cool. I'm sure the macro just grabs the module name or something. I think of it. Alright. Cool. So we reuse their put mapping, which is pretty cool. And now we want to move our example tweet and our insert document call in.
That's just... Index name. Can't I just two-string this once? Is that gonna work? It's a good question. I don't actually know the answer. Let's find out. Value is used here after move. Yes. Because I'm not borrowing it. Alright. What if I borrow it? F. I guess I can just make it owned. Well, all strings are owned, but I can make it so that it's a borrow in the function signature. Yeah, okay, cool. So now we are inserting the document. Or are we? Are we? So let's try figuring out Rust log. All right, how does this work? Per module equals main equals debug, I think. Is that it? We'll find out in a moment. It's actually main, not really. It is not. It is. It's a lib. No. I don't even know what the name of this module is. Bleh. Is it, Duke? Yes, it is. Okay. No handler found for URI, Duke Twitter index, and method what? That's just data from Bloodhound tests. I'd like to delete that. Or I can just make it so it stops querying every index, because that's fucking dumb. There we go. Alright, so our problem right now is that
we're not able to insert the document successfully. Yeah, there we go. No results. So the problem is this insert document call. No handler found for URI do Twitter index. But it definitely created that index. Localhost 93 to 9200 head. No. Elasticsearch head. I have to like backtrack my way back to the thing. Fucking Elastic dashboard. I actually needed this the other day. Not the Kibana dashboard. Alright. Any minute now, guys. Plugin documentation. Yeah, sure. Nope. XPack, no. Alright, okay. 5.x. Unable to run ES head on ES 5.x cluster. Yes, that is true. Nope. Kopf. Yeah, okay, Elasticsearch Kopf. God, that's so annoying. Alright. Alright, is that where I have it? Okay. It's all 0.9 and all that. Cerebro. Is that the one I ended up using? No. For the love of God, can't even remember. I just want to look at the data. Visualizing your data. Oh God, I hate you. I don't want a demo. Alright. Fine. I give up. Wait. Download and install the 64-bit package. Yeah, sure. tar xcf Kibana. Actually, let's check that in models first. Kibana. Yeah, it's well behaved. All right. Kibana bin Kibana work Elasticsearch 5 bin Elasticsearch. Yeah. Hold on, Kibana. There you go. You're running Kibana 5.51 to the same version. Okay, can you just ignore that for now? All right. So, where's Kibana running? I can't even remember the port for this. Web application port 5601. Yeah, I'm sure you are. Okay.
Unable to fetch mapping. Oh, wow, I do not care. Ugh, alright, fine. I don't... No, I don't have indices matching the pattern. I was hoping I'd be able to set this up with Kibana. Ah. Cool. Alright, well, that managed to delete the index. Okay. Okay, index exists. We've got 2 mappings in there. I don't really know where the other mapping came from. Oh, no, it's one mapping. It's just 2 different fields being mapped. Username and message. Okay, yep, that looks good. That looks good. Yeah, okay. Alright. So, let's rerun this and see what's going on. No handler found for URI. I suspect I've got the format wrong. Let's go back to Bloodhound. Index, document. What is the URL? It's index name, mapping name, doc ID. Yeah. Okay. Add query params, index name, mapping name, doc ID. Mapping and doc ID, which I guess is a string. All right. So yeah, the format's wrong. All right, so it's index mapping doc ID, index mapping doc ID. Insert document. The mapping name is tweet, I think. Yeah, it's just tweet. To string. Actually, we will index name. Let mapping name equals mapping name. Yes. And then doc ID. Doc ID equals just 1. I think it's fine. And doc ID, save, and run. What do we got?
Looks like docID1 got created. But the query didn't bring it up. Alright. Well, let's give that a look. Where's the history? Search, query. Why? Oh, okay. Yeah, it returns results. That works fine. Get search, do Twitter index. Search must not start with. Alright, whatever. So it's definitely there, definitely exists. But I'm not getting any results here. That's a little weird, isn't it? Search, value, index, body, query. Wait a second. What's query? Query string, query. That's a little weird. Let's change that to a regular query with a match all and see how that behaves. Survey says shush dog. And I'm gonna have to go here in just a minute. Huh. Did the same damn thing. That is really weird. Yeah, data's still there. ID 1, tweet, Twitter index, source, username, message. Is it because I'm printing out the entire response? I don't think so. That's my key. I gotta go. I will figure this mystery out later. Thanks everyone who is watching. Thank you, Fenton and Alexi, for hanging out with me. And I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.